Hey guys, it's Megan, and in today's video, I'll be showing you 15 more things that you can do when you're bored. We have a lot to get through today, so let's just get into it. The first thing you can do when you're bored is to make a stop motion. There are plenty of different ways to do this, but I've always made stop motions in the Stop Motion Studio app. When you get the app, click New Movie and click the camera button to start adding pictures. You can use the little slider bars to adjust the camera settings, zoom in, and rotate the scene. And above it, there's a self-timer button. Personally, I like to plug my headphones in so that I can take pictures by pressing the volume button. That way it won't move the camera. There are lots of different things that you can use in your stop motions. I don't know if any of you were around when AGSMs were a thing, but American Girl dolls make surprisingly good stop motion subjects. You could use dolls or figures like that, or you can do what I did and draw your own characters. I've been wanting to make a new intro for a while, and I thought that a stop motion might look kinda cool. I just drew myself waving and wrote out the words that I always say at the beginning of every single video. I cut out the drawing and I cut off her arm, which is a little morbid, but it's fine. And I did that so that I could move the arm. And I glued down the main part of the drawing since I didn't want that part to move. I feel like most people know how to make a stop motion, but just in case you don't, you just move the object a tiny bit, take a picture, move it a little more, take another picture, and just keep doing that until eventually you have something that looks like this. This is what it looked like before any editing, and here's the final version to use in my intro. Honestly, I can't decide if this is creepy or if I like it, but I have a feeling you guys will let me know. This next idea, I have no idea what to call it, but I saw it on Pinterest and I wanted to try it, so we're doing it. Take a regular piece of 8.5 by 11 inch paper and cut out 4 1-inch by 11 inch strips. Use a piece of tape to stick 2 of the paper strips together and start folding the strips. Start with the strip on the bottom and fold it up. Bring the other strip up as well. Then take that first strip and fold it back down. Do the same thing with the second strip so both of them are facing down again. Repeat this same pattern going up, up, down, down until you run out of paper to fold. Use some more tape to stick the other 2 strips to the ends and continue folding in the same up, up, down, down pattern. When you reach the end, use one more piece of tape to form the paper into a circle. And now you have this weird flippy paper fidget thing. This is just one of those things where, if you're bored enough, you probably have paper and tape, and the end product is pretty fun to mess around with. This is another thing that I keep seeing, and it's just a really easy, mindless activity to keep your hands busy. Start by drawing a curved line on a diagonal in the center of your page. Draw a few dots along the curve to be the endpoints. Then, connect the dots with more curved lines. It doesn't really matter how many lines you have in these. Basically, if you end up with a bunch of blobs with lines inside, you're doing pretty good. When you finish the first line, draw more curved lines radiating out from it, draw dots on the line, and repeat the process all over again. Just keep drawing more of these until you've filled up the whole entire page. If you have any gaps between your shapes, just fill them in with a few random lines. And when you're done, you'll be left with something like this. If you want to be really extra, you can color this in, but let's be real, I did not feel like it. Let me know if you guys would want to see a video of me just showing you guys a bunch of different random, really easy doodling techniques like this. I feel like that might be fun to do. Idea number 4 is to make something with your neglected art supplies. I feel like we all have these. I have this needle felting kit that I bought but I never made anything with. This 3D pen that, again, I was excited about, but then I decided that it took too long. This tie-dye kit, which I never even opened. These shrinky dinks from 2002, I have no idea where these came from. Comment down below and let me know if you have any neglected craft supplies. The next idea is something I do all the time, and that is to see what you have in your recycling bin and look up crafts that you can make with those things. In my case, I had these water jugs, so I ended up looking for milk jug crafts. This one looked pretty cool. It looks like you just need a button and a hair tie. There's also the classic milk jug scoop thing, and I thought these embroidery thread holders were a neat idea. Something else you could do is make a gallery wall for your room. Basically, you just have to think of a few different wall art ideas, make them, and arrange them on your wall. I have this kind of half-finished gallery wall in my room, And don't worry, I did not forget about my room makeover series. I just figured that these things to do when you're bored videos might be a little more useful for you guys right now, but we will get back to that. A few ideas for things you could do are jewelry holders, painted pockets, these VHS storage things, garlands, regular painted canvases. You could seriously just spend so much time deciding what you want to make. If you like drawing, another thing you can do is go to reference.sketchdaily.net. This is an image generator where you can choose what type of drawing you'd like to do. I chose animals, and then you can choose further specifications like the species, category, and the view. You can even set a timer if you want to do time drawings. I just flipped through until I found an animal I wanted to draw. I chose this little guy. I'm pretty sure he's a seal, but your girl is no animal expert, so if I'm wrong, please let me know. I feel like he needs a name, so comment down below what we should name him, and I'll pick one and I will write it in my sketchbook. I'll give you a shout out. You all know the drill. I didn't set a timer for this, but this sketch took me a little less than 15 minutes. I have no idea if that's a good time or not, but he's cute. I like him. Idea number 8 is to complete a page in a prompt book, like create this book or wreck this journal. And if you don't have a book like this, you could always look up create this book or wreck this journal videos, and then write down the prompts from the videos that you would want to do. Here we go, create a page of boredom. I feel like that's appropriate. Another creative thing to do when you're bored is to get a head start on making birthday cards for people. I always wait until the last minute to do this, and let's be real, I probably still will, but it's a nice thing to do if you have some extra time on your hands. If you post your art online, something else you could do is draw a profile picture. I drew this one last year, and I was so proud of it, but I never put it in a video, so here it is. I used the grid method for this. And this video is kind of getting long, so I'll just link you guys to the video where I explained it. I always draw real people in black and white because it's way easier. Usually I'll just have the grayscale drawing, and I'll do something more colorful in the background. If you can, I'd highly recommend photographing your art outside. It always makes it look so much nicer in my opinion. The next thing you could do is paint your furniture. I've seen people do so many cool designs, but I went with something a little more practical. My cat Lucky passed away about 1.5 years ago, and she liked to use my desk as a scratching post. And since she's gone, I decided it was finally time to kind of fix it up a little. I used a black paint marker from Arteza to fill in the scratches, and just kind of blended it out with my finger. Obviously, it's not perfect, but the paint job on this desk is really forgiving. If you don't have any old furniture to fix up, you could always paint your light switches. Idea number 12 is to find an old book, flip to a random page, and draw whatever's on that page. Preferably you'd want a book with pictures for this, but if you don't have any, then you can just flip to a random page in a paperback book and draw what you would imagine the characters would look like. This book was my mom's from 1978. You guys know I love Kermit, so I drew this image of him talking on the phone. It looks like the illustrator used colored pencils for this, but I used my new set of 120 Ohuhu brush markers instead. This is a really simple idea, but it's honestly kind of fun. The next idea is to make jewelry. It seemed like everyone and their mom was making friendship bracelets last summer, and if you're like me, you probably have a ton of supplies left. For this video, I wanted to make one of these golf counter bracelets. They're usually used for counting strokes when people play golf or rows when you're knitting, but I just kind of like moving the beads. Take a piece of string, fold it in half, and either tie a knot at the end or loop it around a jump ring. Tape it to your work surface, and thread your left string through your bead, then your right string, and pull the bead up to the top. For the second bead, thread your right string through first, then your left string, and bring it up. You can use as many beads for this as you want. I've seen people make these into keychains to put on their water bottle to count how much water that they drink during the day. I feel like that's a good idea too. I just did 12 beads, measured around my wrist, and tied a lobster clasp at the end. I wasn't a fan of the ends of the knot that was hanging off, so I taped the clasp down and used some embroidery thread to tie square knots around it to cover it up. I cut off the extra string and used a bit of Elmer's glue to hold the knots in place. And here's what my finished bracelet looked like. The beads can be moved up and down like this. I always end up making bracelets way too big, but on the plus side, I don't have to worry about trying to undo the clasp. Obviously, there are a ton of different types of jewelry that you can make, and I will link all my bracelet tutorials down below. Something else I like to do when I'm bored is swatch markers. I love getting new art supplies, but my least favorite part has to be swatching them. I'm always so happy when I do though because it makes finding the color that I need 10 times easier. I recently received this set of 20 acrylic markers from Arteza. Something that's pretty neat about these is that they come with tweezers and extra tips, just in case you want a chisel tip marker. If you're looking for some new art supplies, you can use the code MeganWeller3 for 10% off everything on the site. Arteza's also doing a giveaway over on their channel right now. I'll make sure to link it down below. The last idea I came up with is to make a collage. If you watch my channel for any amount of time, you know that I love cutting up old magazines to make collages. I get all of my magazines for free from an app called Recycle Bank. In the app, you take quizzes about recycling to earn points, and you can use the points to get free magazines. I'm not affiliated with them at all, I just thought that it was really cool, and it's one of the few things that's free on the internet that's not a scam, so 10 out of 10, definitely would recommend it. For this collage, I cut out a bunch of floral backgrounds and a few larger flowers. I glued those down and used my white Arteza paint marker to doodle flowers all over the top. The nib on this was a little bigger than I usually like to work with, so I filled in some of the smaller details with a white gel pen. If you need ideas for what kind of collages to make, I'll link a few videos that I made down below. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos just like this one. My merch, my website, and all of my social media will be linked down below. I hope you guys are all staying safe and healthy, and yeah, I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!